Morning for me. There we go. 8 p.m. in Los Angeles. And we're here to discuss anything you want in the world. We can talk a little bit of AEW Dynamite last night. We can talk about LA Kings hockey. We could talk about stand-up comedy. And we can talk about who everyone thinks killed United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Good morning. It's probably good afternoon for you in sunny Florida. South Florida. But CEO of United Healthcare, Brian Thompson, gunned down in the middle of New York. A lot of theories about who it was. Was it a disgruntled ex-customer who they denied a claim on? Was it, I've had some people hint that it was a likely ex-Mossad agent hired to do a hit. Now, I know that seems a little Jack Bauer 24-ish, but he did seem very calm pulling off an assassination in the middle of New York City with hundreds of cameras around. He also seemed to have a pretty good getaway plan. Now, a lot of people, or not a lot of people, but some people were like, Earl, do you really think a Mossad agent would get on an e-bike after a hit? You know, I don't know. Good morning, Ryan. I don't know any Mossad agents. So I don't know their preferred method of getaway. But I was like, have you ever driven a car in New York City? It ain't fun. And they didn't catch him. So I would assume that this man had some form of training. And some people are like, well, his gun jammed. Do you think a Mossad agent's gun would jam? Who knows? I don't know. Kosher cabs, 100%. 100%. They probably had a Jewish cab company right there. Do people even use cabs anymore? Hey, 29 people in here. Hit the like button. Come on, man. Wow. $1.19. Thank you. What's up? $1.19 super chat. I thought that was $100 for a second. I was like, damn. I'm gonna start doing more early streams. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. What is that? What kind of money is that? 100 rubles? Are you calling from the motherland, Russia? So it will be very interesting to see if they catch him. I mean, I believe they will. There's just too many cameras in New York City. I mean, that's probably the most camera-based city in the world. And I live in Los Angeles. Oh, thank you very much. You know, I'll probably never do stand-up comedy in Korea, but, a fan's a fan. For those of you who are new to me, my name is Earl Skakel. I'm a stand-up comic based in Los Angeles, California. I've been on TV a bunch, Roast Battle on Comedy Central. I'm dying up here on Showtime. I am the father and Tyler the crew, Tyler the creator, Tyler the crew, Tyler the creator's cartoon, The Jellies. I'm the only white guy on an all-black cartoon, and I've been in a movie or two, so people often new to the stream are like, "Who the hell are you?" I don't want to grift anyone, crew, to be honest with you. A lot of people ask me, "Well, Earl, what's a super chat? What's the big deal about them?" And they're really just like my friend William Zoom said. They're really just think of me as a bartender, and if you like the stream or you like some of my stand-up videos, you tip me. That's all. I don't ask for money. And I was also recently on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. Speaking of grifting, so I'm just, I woke. This is early for me. I'm rarely up at 8 a.m. in California, but here I am. And, maybe I'll do like a half-hour stream. I'm still messing with the algorithm on here. Usually I do a stream at night, but, I'm just throwing this one out there to see what kind of numbers I would get. And so far so good. So thanks for joining me. We really, I know, but I find Jesse very funny. Like Jesse had sent me an interview he did with Jamie Kennedy. He's like, you should watch this so you know what I'm about. But I don't like watching, when I'm going on a podcast or a radio show, I want as little information as possible because I want the conversation to be organic. And I'm glad I didn't because I was so on alert that I thought it was a good interview. What up, Dr. Nova? I think he's trolling. I don't think he's really serious. He's like my buddy Primetime Alex Stein. He also reminds me a lot of Larry Elder. If you're in LA, Larry's a pretty big radio show guy. And he's national too. He's on Fox a lot with Hannity. But I find Jesse, he's just literally a troll with a TV show or a radio show or whatever. So I enjoyed him. Of course, someone sent me a YouTube clip of him being accused of, some Me Too type stuff. But, I don't know. I watched it. The 4 people they interviewed seemed pretty believable, but who knows, But I would go back on his show again. But I watch these people crew for entertainment. I don't go. I don't know about that situation, so I can't really comment on it. But like I watch Fox News. I don't watch it for actual news. I watch Hannity because he makes me laugh. What up, Sour Milk? I've started switching up my lives, Sour Milk. I don't do them on the iMac anymore because the numbers are a lot better for me doing it from the phone. Now, I prefer it on the iMac because my glasses are so fucking, my vision is so bad. But, in a crew, I also watch, so it's good to have you back, man. I watch CNN and MSNBC. They're just as bad as Fox is to the right. Turn on any show on MSNBC and it's all just the right sucks. They support this, they support that. It's like, well, that's what they're saying about you guys. So it's funny to me. MSNBC and Fox, they're like 2 pro wrestlers who are going up against each other. So, no, I can't watch The View. It's unwatchable. Um, I usually perform Saturday night, not Sunday. But sometimes they give me a spot on Sunday nights. But by the way, let's get the plugs out of the way. I will be at the Comedy Store Saturday night, closing out the original room. Usually it's the main room, but my good friend George Perez is filming his special in there that night. So I'm lucky to get a spot at all, to be frank. Um, Plug that ass. All right. Well, no, that's exit only back there. So um, that'll be fun. George is one of the best comics working. So support George Perez any way you can. But before you support him, support me. I'm just kidding. So yeah, today is going to be probably round the clock coverage of the assassination on all the news. James Jameson, New Zealand, $1.01. Thank you very much, my friend. Every little bit helps, guys. Appreciate the love and support. I mean, I just think they're funny. Like, I don't, I want to be entertained when I watch TV. That's why I like pro wrestling. Pro wrestling for 2 hours every Wednesday night on AEW Dynamite. I'm entertained. I don't have to think. You know, my job is entertaining people. Of course, some people might argue that on the stream, but like, so I don't want like serious news. NPR and The View, those girls are fools, man. They're just bitter, rich women who think that people want to hear from them. Does Whoopi Goldberg really think she's accomplishing anything by a sex strike other than making her husband happy? Hello! See, that's a little joke for you guys. Tucker Carlson, the guy's a total buffoon. Alex Jones, he's funny to me. But he's a work. Alex Jones is like a white Jesse Lee Peterson. We don't talk about that religious stuff, John, unless you subscribe. I was an altar boy for 12 years, so I know what I'm talking about. I know. I mean, no, I've met Whoopi before. She was actually a judge on Roast Battle, I think. The season one that I was on, the television show. I don't think she really understood what Roast Battle was about. I think when Jeselnik was a judge with her and he was like, "Do you shower like or shampoo with like sand?" And she was like, you could tell she was like, "What the fuck are you talking to me like that for?" It's like, well, it's Roast Battle, sister. 100% Chandelier Delight. I thought that said Chandler for a moment. That gave me some flashbacks. Well, we don't have to get into that. Yes, what I do is when someone super chats me, I give them the ray gun. It's something that gets your attention. Like, what the fuck is this guy doing? I like to entertain you guys in any way possible, and I will use any methods I can to make sure you don't go to one of the thousands of other streams right now. And that's one of the great things about my streams is I really wanted to talk about the assassination on a New York City sidewalk. But by the end of this stream, we could be talking about pro wrestling. We can talk about anything you want. No, I don't twerk, even though I do have a great ass for twerking. See what I mean? We start this show about an assassination attempt, and now we're going to shaking the booty. Well, I mean, here's the thing. Like, I believe he was a hitman. Now, my friend, who's a cop, and this guy's like the real deal. He thinks it was like an ex Mossad agent. Um, so, Ryan, I don't believe you are muted, but I don't know how to fix stuff like that. Um, so clearly you're not muted if I'm seeing you right now. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think there's a few things that point to it being professional, and there's a few things that don't. Like, to me, the line and wait, it was really a great place to shoot. I mean, I'm not saying I admire the guy. I'm just saying it was a great place to shoot him. Plenty of exits. He had a absolute exit strategy. He had a path that took him to Central Park where, he's going to be virtually impossible to find. And someone was like, you think a Mossad agent would get on an e-bike, but have you ever tried to drive a car in New York City at that hour of the morning? It's fucking impossible. There's no way you could get away. So, um, now a lot of people are like, do you think a Mossad agent would go to Starbucks? I don't know. None of us know who it is. I just think he was a little too cool. Um, you got to, if this was just a disgruntled ex customer and the gun jammed, he'd be panicking. Now, a lot of people said, Earl, do you think a Mossad agent, do you think their gun would jam? I don't know. I don't hang out with Mossad agents. See, I think he will be captured. Um, so I think that New York, I've been to New York. I live in Los Angeles, probably the two most heavily camera based cities in the world. You could literally track his movements on every city block until he gets to Central Park. Now that gets a little wonky because of all the trees and the jungle like nature of Central Park. I mean, I've been to Central Park, man. It's basically a mini jungle in the city. So that, but you know how many cameras are in Central Park? So unless the guy was Houdini and can just magically change his appearance in the bushes, but even if he did that, there's probably a camera zoomed in on that area where he was doing his Superman change. So I think they'll catch him relatively soon. Um, and who knows what was in that fucking backpack, to be honest with you. Um, so, well, I don't know, bud. I mean, I think that I'm just saying I don't think it was a disgruntled ex-customer. It was too cool. And a lot of my friends who shoot guns are like, bro, it's not that hard to clear a gun jam. But if this was a disgruntled ex, now I'm just getting an alert that they have two new release photos of the gunman's full face. Um, so that should help capture this guy pretty easily. So maybe it's not a Mossad agent. Um, because that's what I was talking about. Like, they could guess his movements before the shooting too. And there's, in New York City, I would say on average, with store cameras in the mix too, probably four cameras at each intersection, and on in between intersections, so like one block, there's probably as many as 10 to 20 cameras. It's going to be pretty hard for this guy to not be noticed before and after the shooting. So, I mean, I said they'll catch him in the next 48 hours. But I could be wrong. I don't know. I'm just guessing. That's part of this stream is, let's get in here and talk about it, baby. But the fact that they now have just released two photos of his full face, should speed up the um, the capture ability. But you know, he could shave. You know, he could die. You know, I'm going to lose some of you with this movie, but there was that movie Angel about, you know, and it's what you would consider a B slasher movie from the '80s, where the premise of the movie was a girl's in high school and she's a prostitute at night, and the killer. The whole theme of the movie is there's a killer killing prostitutes. Um, Mucho gracias, Matthew. And so when the description of him comes out, he shaves his head, shaves his facial hair, and he goes undetected. So, you know, this guy could do that too. So who knows? I don't do requests for free, but if you subscribe, I'll give you a freebie just this once. As you can see, I make a lot of money doing this stream. 20 minutes in, I'm $1.78 richer than I was before. EA Sports. It's in the game. Oh, that guy must make a lot of money. That could have been me, man. And my voice is deep in the morning. I mean, it's deep anyway, but, you know. I cheated. I took Spanish um, 2 year 2 years at Notre Dame High School, and I cheated off the Asian guy. I don't know who they are, Davey. So you need better grifts. Yeah, I don't like grifting. I actually do this. You know, I'm just trying to get my YouTube channel a little more noticed. If I can make a few bucks, great. You know, if not, you know, I'm not. I make my money in stand-up acting and voiceover work, so I'm pretty comfortable how I live. Of course, you know, there's many of my friends who are comics who basically roast each other, roast other podcasts, and they make a fortune. But, you know, I'm not going to roast people on my stream. No, Davey, I'm just saying, I don't know who either of those people are. But I also sat next to Kendrick Lamar in an airplane, and I had no idea who he was. All my friends who were in coach were like, dude, you know who you're sitting next to? I'm like, I think he plays on the Lakers. Uh, no, I have not, Davey. I just told you I haven't heard of any of them. I'm a hockey fan, wrestling fan, so heavy metal fan. So unless they are, you know, in that world, I probably don't know who they are. I mean, poor P. Diddy, man. That guy probably will never leave jail again. F him. That's a tough one, Davey. Now we're talking my language. I like Scott Hall a little bit better than I do Mr. Perfect, but Mr. Perfect's awesome. Greatest vignette ever when they show him doing everything perfectly. Like when he's at the Minnesota Vikings football practice, and I think it was Randall Cunningham, the quarterback. He's a black quarterback, so I'm assuming it was Randall Cunningham. And he's teaching him how to throw a football, and he throws the football, and then they show him catching it. um, oh, Matthew, you're out of control. You're out of control. I don't believe Chris Benoit was sacrificed. And then he throws a basketball behind his back, and it's a perfect swish. Was Owen Hart murdered? Well, I mean, technically he was, but I don't think it was. I don't think it was nefarious. I just think that it was negligent. Um, you know, I think Chris Benoit just had so much. You know, they did a scan of his brain, man. It was fucked up. So, I mean, yeah, Chris Benoit, one of the great all-time technical wrestlers, but. Are you bombing in my thread, Matthew? You better get back to the Spanish class. I don't think it changed forever after Benoit passed. I don't think it really changed much at all. Um, no, I don't think so. I mean, you know, uh, I mean, crew, I disagree with you. I don't think he was sacrificed at all. Um, he was just a guy who had tremendous CTE problems, and just I mean, I've known a lot of people like him, bodybuilders, and they're on steroids. They're ex-football players, ex-athletes, ex-bodybuilders, current bodybuilders, and that's a fucked up group of people, man. You know, because they're in constant pain, and uh, the steroids make them aggressive. The pain pills bring them down, so their brain is just like spinning. And obviously nobody knows what really happened, but like I would guess that he went into that weekend probably planning something, and then maybe Nancy Benoit gaslit him or something, and he just lost his mind. I mean, it probably was Davey calmed down a little bit. I mean, the guy did murder his whole family, and basically the general consensus outside of crew um, was that the steroids and all the drugs he was on just made his mind, just blow up. So, wasn't really a good look. I mean, you got to figure, Chris Benoit's been taking headshots and headbutts for 30 years. Um, I mean, I had a concussion once playing football when my head hit the ground, and I was pretty messed up from it for a minute. And that's one time. This guy was injured, with a headbutt or chair shot hundreds of times. So, I don't think it's that unbelievable that he would. By the way, check out the Earl sign right there. I'm very proud of that. I don't think it's really unbelievable that he did what he did. Um, Hello, what's up, JS218? Ever worked with Artie Lang? I was on an episode of Roast Battle with Artie Lang when he was judging, and it wasn't a pleasant experience, to be frank, because he was incapacitated for most of the show. And then I saw people giving him drugs outside the comedy club. So I read Artie's book, man. It was a great book. Very similar his relationship with his dad that I had with mine, but it was kind of like you never want to meet your idols. Not that Artie Lang was an idol of mine, but it was just not a pleasant experience, to be honest with you. I mean, he was literally passed out in the judging booth. And the only time he woke up was I jokingly said, "Hey, I got some Coke for you, Artie." And he literally went like that. Larry Vazios, I think he's still on his all cheese diet. The Chicken Man. See, I wasn't necessarily an Artie fan. On Stern, I much preferred Jackie. I mean, when Jackie left Stern, I kind of checked out, to be honest with you. But, some people didn't like Jackie and loved Artie. I just thought Artie uh, made the show a little bit, he interrupted too much. Um, but that's a great Comedy Store pull, Peter Chicken Man. Larry Vazios. I always felt bad for him because he got, like, I got my name on the wall. It's in the front of the building. It's literally the best spot to have your name. Everyone walks by it. Larry got his name on the wall. I know you've been to the Comedy Store, but there's the front bar, and they put a cover over the TV player at night. And then when the club is open, they take the cover off and put it behind the bar. That's where Larry got his name on the cover. So no one really ever sees his name. Who was your favorite Wack Packer? Sour Shoes, High Pitch Mike. I mean, probably Daniel Carver. Is he considered a whack packer? I just enjoyed him, like just the fact that I mean, obviously, I didn't enjoy what he was saying, but he kind of was like Archie Bunker, where it's like he was kind of likable, but like completely insane. Um, so the Jesus Twins, I remember that. I saw those guys in L.A. a few times. Earl, who was your favorite? Probably PJ Stansberry. What up, NC Tyrant Hunter? So now a minute ago it said my super chats was $1.19. Now it's down to 60 cents. That makes me feel good. Yeah, I mean, I'm just chilling. I started this. Um, I know Beetlejuice was too mean spirited for me. Like he was just kind of angry, and I get why he was angry, but like, I'm trying to think who else. I know Big Black used to come in my streams. I haven't seen him in a minute, but Daniel Carver's, my favorite. And then if I had to pick a second, if you put a gun to my head and said you have to pick a second favorite Wack Packer, who was that weird girl that was on with Ray Liotta? Croy? She was kind of weird. I know Hank the Angry Dwarf was just too sad for me. I don't like it when people aren't in on the joke. J Mac Jack, $2. Good morning to you, my friend. Thank you very much, J Man Jack. You're always a big tipper for me. I appreciate that. So, by the way, if you're new to the stream, whether you're a troll or whatever, a spammer, hey, hit the like button. It shouldn't be me, I'll tell you that much right now. So, I don't know. That's a really scary proposition that Laney and Jerry are looking for a third. So once again, breaking news in the Earlverse: the New York City police have released 2 pictures of the shooter's full face. And you probably had to figure that was going to happen with all the cameras there. Attell loves me, man. I love Dave Attell. He's nice to me every time. I didn't even think he knew my name, to be honest with you. But every time I see him, he's like, "Hey, Earl, what's happening?" So, that's pretty cool. And I think, now, one time at the Comedy Store, I was on stage. This is a cool Comedy Store story that the Chicken Man and the Dr. Nova, would appreciate. I'm on stage in the main room, and I'm doing pretty good. I'm not doing, probably not coming to Texas anytime soon. And Danny, the sound guy, says, "Earl, bring up Dave." Now, I was about 12, 15 minutes into my set, so I'd done my time, and so good luck, Ted, on that. And so I was like, "Dave who? David Spade, Dave Coulier." And so I bring up Dave, and it was Dave Attell. And he does about 10 to 12 minutes as well. And I'm in the front bar, trying to get some puss. And all of a sudden, my buddy, a very funny comic, Bruce Gray, is like, "Hey, man, Dave's asking for you." I'm like, "Where is he?" He's like, "He's on stage." And I didn't really want to go on stage with him, not because I don't like him, but, they don't want to see me. They've already seen me, and then you have one of the greatest comics of all time, and they don't want me in the equation. But he really wanted to do kind of like what he does with Jeff Ross. He wanted to do basically a bumping mics thing with me. And we did about 10 minutes, and I was pretty nervous, but, it worked out. And then he left. He's like, "Hey, I'll see you later, Earl." So now I had to do more stand up again after they just seen Dave Chappelle or Dave Attell. So it's kind of one of my favorite Comedy Store moments. Uh, who's Willie, Matthew? Hello from Dubai. Attell is my brother. Well, he's probably mine too because he's really nice and he just keeps it real and there's no bullshit with him. There's no Hollywood bullshit. He's just who he is. Um, So now, when you say R.I.P. Chicken, what do you mean by that? Oh, Willie Nelson. That's great. I was just watching Willie Nelson and probably my favorite Michael Mann movie, Heat, where he had a little part. But yeah, I won't be coming to Texas anytime soon. I mean, I did the mothership. I had a pretty good time. I don't know. I didn't feel like I really fit in that well there. It was a little too culty for my taste. I mean, I get it, but probably the best thing that happened to me the morning after I played the mothership, I'm walking around Austin, and I had all kinds of people going, Earl, like the fans are great there, and I do like how they lock the phones so that the fans or the audience are very engaged, and all the comics, the Austin comics specifically, treated me well. I had heard that they were a little standoffish with LA comics because LA comics have basically taken over the city. I mean, when you look at the mothership lineups, it's a lot of LA comics on them. So I'm sure that the um, Austin comics are like, what the fuck? But, welcome to Hollywood, Austin comics. You come to LA, you think it's going to be any different here? No. But I do laugh at the LA comics who go to Austin, like Adam didn't book you here. He ain't gonna book you there. But I gotta worry about myself, man. I'm just a comedy soldier. Um, no, no, we have in the stream right now Peter Chicken Man Brennan. Thank you, Dari. Well, that's the whole point. I realize that there's 1,000 streams in this in the YouTube land right now at 8:35 in the morning. So I try to stand out with my booming, deep baritone voice. Hey, hit the like button, guys. Hit the subscribe button too, so the next time I go live, you are notified like that. You look like my gay neighbor. Well, your gay neighbor's a good-looking guy. Then it's funny you say that. There's 24 units in my building. I'm literally the only straight guy in this building. I have my biggest voiceover credit is right now. I have a cartoon on HBO Max, Adult Swim, and the Cartoon Network. It's called The Jellies. It's Tyler the Creator's cartoon. I play the father, Barry Jelly, and I'm the only white guy on an all-black cartoon. And then I've done tons of like lottery commercials. Like I did one like about a year ago, a Georgia State Lottery Scratchers commercial. Get your Georgia State Scratchers now. Void where prohibited. Um, no, no, they love me. I'm like the mascot. We don't talk about the Dabbleverse in here, Chicken Man, unless it's a super chat. I mean, as you can see, this stream has been incredibly profitable for me. Clocking in at what are we? 40 minutes into the stream, I've made $2.60. I'm killing it, Chicken Man Brennan. But Chicken Man and Dr. Nova, are you guys coming to the Comedy Store Christmas party Sunday? Will I have the pleasure of you whispering into my ear? I'm the Chicken Man. That won't be happening, Pickles. I can tell you that much. Uh, when I go down on a guy, that means I've run out of women, and I ain't gonna run out of women anytime soon. We don't do the gay talk in here, Pickles. This is a family-friendly stream. I love Kevin Brennan. I never worked with him, but I'm hoping one day soon, maybe by summer, they do a Kevin Brennan roast part 2. I would fly to New York and participate. Of course, I've got some people in New York who don't like me, so I might have to have protection. Oh, all right, Dr. Nova. Well, I'm not scared because I know it'll never happen. Pickles. We don't do the gay stuff in here. This is a topical news stream where I started this stream 40 minutes ago to talk about the assassination attempt on the New York sidewalk that happened yesterday, not to talk about any future endeavors in the man-on-man world. I mean, then why you need protection if it will never happen? No, I'm saying if I go to New York, I'll need protection, which I would plan on doing if they ever had a Kevin Brennan roast part 2. So I've got an ex-girlfriend or 2 in New York City, so they might have snipers on the rooftop for me. That's what I was talking about. So you hear about Tiffany. I don't know who that is, just labeled, so no, I have not. I don't know what you're talking about, this label. Isn't the election over? We'll get you. Are you threatening me? Peter Chicken Man Brennan, I think I'm being threatened in the stream. Well, I mean, who knows? Where was Richie yesterday? Was he doing advanced scout work for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not too familiar with Midwest politics, to be completely honest with you. Isn't the election over, though, in most cities? I don't know many elections that happen in December. So, but if she stole money, she shouldn't be elected or on the ballot. Well, that's pretty funny. She might have my vote if she dressed up as Wesley Snipes. I'm assuming she's black. I can't imagine a white person pulling off a good Wesley Snipes impression. We dislabeled. We don't do the all caps thing in here. The caffeine must have just kicked in for you. But any update on Tommy Morris Earlverse Part 3? I would do it, to be honest with you. I just don't know what we would talk about. I mean, I guess for a few minutes we could talk about what you're up to, but that's going to fill maybe 15 minutes, and then it's like, well, we going to talk about Mitzi again? But I will say that I've had some of the biggest comics in the world come up to me and say, dude, I don't listen to podcasts, but your episode with Tommy Morris was... And it really was. I mean, I'm very proud of what I did in that interview. It was really just an insight into a maniac. And, I think it's episode 93 of my podcast, Inappropriate Earl. Should be required viewing for any stand-up comic, for any booker, for any comedy club owner, and not because I was a good interviewer. He was just fucking insane. And, we did, I think, episode 95, the sequel, but it wasn't quite as good. There's a lot of repeat stuff in it, but still pretty good. Well, I'd love to do Earlverse Part 3, but it wouldn't have been part of Mitzi. Well, I mean, I'd love to do an Earlverse Part 3, but I need the money. And I don't like the black background. People who don't know Tommy are probably, can you imagine someone just tuning in right now going, what the fuck is this guy doing? Um, so would you let Tommy stay? No, I absolutely would not let Tommy stay in my place. But I would have him come back here. But, he's an interesting guy, man. Had the world by the balls. He'd probably still be the talent coordinator up there if he just, if his fingers weren't a little light when the final count was counted. Point and shoot, I don't know what that means. You guys in this stream sometimes type some weird stuff. Well, I mean, Earl, your background looks like the inside of Roscoe's. Say, okay. I mean, Tommy's favorite Wack Packer, absolutely Daniel Carver. Oh, the guy's funny. I'll tell him to come up Sunday nights after Aprabaya. For those of you who wonder what the hell I'm talking about, we're just making fun of the old talent coordinator at the Comedy Store, who had some very interesting views on certain elements of society. Let's just say that. And almost as interesting as his accounting methods at the end of the night. Well, Mitzi told me to steal. I'm like, I'm pretty sure a Jewish club owner did not tell you to steal money. But he was the talent coordinator of the Comedy Store in the dark era. Well, Tuesday, Tommy was never up there on Tuesday, which is funny that's how I think Roast Battle was allowed to flourish, because that was his one night off. So we were allowed with Roast Battle to just go buck wild. Hey, hit the like and subscribe button, pretty please. It would help me get more subscribers, which would get more people in the streams. The numbers this morning aren't fantastic, to be honest with you. So I may stick to nighttime streams. That seems to be my target audience. But I'm still grateful for the 14 soldiers in here right now. And to the people who've been in here earlier in the hour, but have since left us to probably go to work. Now let's scan the news real fast. Hopefully the background doesn't help. Let me see. Damn, Dolly Parton's been married 58 years, man. Good for her. Good for her. Let me see. Nothing so far. Any updates on the? Oh, here we go. Manhunt for United Healthcare continues. So looks like nothing. Let's go on Matt. Let's go on the Drudge Report. He usually got his finger in the air. Oh wow, they did. They did release the 2 pictures of. Now he kind of does look like a Mossad agent, to be honest with you. They're going to get this guy. I mean, that's a pretty clear picture of him. So that should help speed up. Now, he's already clean shaven, so, I don't know really how he could change his appearance in terms of that. So that should be interesting. Now it's really, and they might even get a shot of him without the hoodie on. I'm sure they have it. That's the thing, committing crime in the 70s was so easy because you didn't have ring lights, you didn't have cameras on every intersection. And I think really the camera thing got a lot of play when they started doing intersection cameras to catch people running lights, and then it was just like, well, let's put them on the corners so we can see people, you know, jaywalking or robbing stores. I mean, I was driving home last night from the Comedy Store, and you know, the shooting was on my mind, and I thought, okay, let's say a crime happened at the Comedy Store, and I tried to get away and just drive. Let's say I did the crime, and I tried to drive, say, to my condo, which is about a mile west of the Comedy Store, and literally every store from the Comedy Store to basically the street I turned left on to go to my condo, there's hundreds of cameras, and that's just in that little mile area. So, um, you know, it's pretty hard to commit a crime like this and not get caught. Yeah, I mean, Mitzi's vision. You know, the building's black. How am I supposed to concentrate? At least the names on the wall are white. Hello. Um, that's. I'm looking at the. I mean, he looks to me like he's white, clean shaven, got kind of a big nose. Actually, he's got a little bit of a mustache. That's a nice jacket he's wearing, to be honest with you. So, I mean, he looks, I would guess, pretty young. I would say 25 to 30, maybe 6 feet. Looks kind of slenderish. I'll say 170. Now, not that that doesn't stick out in New York, but you know, his nose is kind of pronounced, so there's not much he can do about that. You know, it's going to be interesting to see what's in that backpack. Um, the fact that the fact that the guy got away is telling. Good to see you. Hey, what up, Chris? I mean, you know, it's. I've been talking about this all morning with friends and people online. You know, some people think it was just a disgruntled ex customer who didn't get coverage on a medical issue. You know, my friend who's a cop, he thinks it was a Mossad agent hired to, you know, by someone else, obviously, to kill this guy. I mean, these medical companies rip off a lot of people. And so I think that, um, you know, I mean, and I think he went or is going through a divorce. So, you know, you got to look at the ex wife. Um, and, you know, probably hundreds of disgruntled customers. I don't know. The shooter really looked a little too cool for school. You know, you got the balls to kind of take your time and be very methodical. And, you know, even when the gun jammed, which a lot of people are saying, Earl, do you think a Mossad agent, do you think his gun would jam? But, you know, shit happens. But he cleared it real fast. And, like, some of my friends who are gun nuts, they're like, dude, clearing a gun's like gun 101. But, like, yeah, if you're on a gun range and your gun jams, you got the time to, like, do whatever. I'm by no means a gun expert, but you got the time on a gun range or a shooting, a gun club to, like, kind of take a step back, look at it, and go like that. This guy was in the pocket. And his exit strategy to me was um, very, like, he had a plan. This was not just some wacky. Well, I mean, I'm assuming we've all seen the picture by now. I mean, he kind of looks Israeli, to be honest. I mean, I'm not trying to pin it on the Mossad, but I don't want them after my ass. But I mean, they don't fuck around. I mean, I'm blown away that you know, the '72 Olympic attack. It took the Mossad like 30 years, and I think they got 10 out of the 11 people responsible for the death of the Israeli athletes. So I don't know what a Mossad agent. You know, I also don't think a Mossad agent would be going to Starbucks, grabbing a coffee and two protein bars. That's not very Mossad agenty like, but the getaway is definitely. This was a very well planned assassination. I mean, he knew exactly where the CEO was going to be. I wouldn't be surprised if they're doing a deep dive into the day before. Was this guy at the outside the hotel looking around, or the week before? So the New York City Police Department, they're probably the best in the business, just because the sheer amount of crimes you have to deal with on a daily basis. So, maybe he's ex-military. It could be a U.S. military guy. Doesn't have to be the Mossad, but um, I think that you think it was just one person involved with the incident. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think there's two scenarios. Either it was a one shooter, lone wolf type of. He didn't get his claim. His claim got denied, and he's fuck this guy. I mean, they were getting death threats, or he was, or um, it could be, um, someone hired this guy. Now, this guy looks pretty young. Of course, it's just two pictures, but uh, he. I mean, he weirdly looks like a Mossad agent. Not that I know what a Mossad agent looks like, but he looks Israeli or Hispanic, maybe. Thick eyebrows, nice smile. So it's listen. To be honest with you, it's really only one of two scenarios. It's either the lone shooter, the lone gunman, a disgruntled customer whose claim got denied, or someone who had an issue with this guy and hired a hitman. I mean, I know the hitman thing sounds a little bit too, Jack Bauer 24-ish, but, I think that it's plausible. We're going to go another 2.5 minutes, guys, and then I'll probably do another stream tonight. I appreciate it if you hit the like and subscribe button. It helps me out a lot. A lot of people ask me, Earl, how can we as fans or potential new fans, because I know some of you are new and have no idea who I am, how can we help you? Other than super chats. Like, I don't want to give you money, but I want to help you. Times are tight, and I understand that. You can follow me everywhere at Earl Skakel, EarlSkakel. It's really simple to follow me. I'm Earl Skakel everywhere. Instagram. I'm more active on YouTube and Instagram, X to a degree. Facebook, not as much. TikTok, a little bit. And, like and subscribe helps me. It helps get me into the algorithm. Commenting on my videos, that helps, because then I comment back, and I do reply to every comment. To be honest with you, there's not that many comments to um, reply to. So, on YouTube, it's all about cracking the algorithm. And I've kind of done that with these. My friend William Zoom has told me that YouTube pushes the live streams on a phone app versus how I used to do them on my iMac. And so I'm still trying to figure it out. So it's close to 9 o'clock. We got 1 more minute, guys, before we end the stream. Get your last minute questions in. I appreciate you guys tuning in the morning. I know you have plenty of stream choices. And I appreciate you guys joining the Earl Army. And maybe by tonight, they'll know who the shooter is. They'll have captured him. And we can talk about it later. And if you're in LA this weekend, I'll be at the Comedy Store Saturday night, 12:15 in the original room. Message me on Instagram, and we will do it again. and I'll give you a tour of the Comedy Store, and introduce you to any comics you want to meet. It's part of a perk of subscribing to the Earl Skakel YouTube channel. So that's all for me. I'm gonna watch the news now, see if I can educate myself, and I'll probably see you later tonight, maybe around 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Peace.